But our top story tonight comes from Parliament, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at the Congress and the Nehru Gandhi family, in particular in the Lok Sabha. He accused the main opposition party of, he said, serving the Gandhi family instead of the nation while they were in power. Many say the speech sounded like an election trailer by the Prime Minister. Throughout the speech, Congress MPs raised slogans and questioned why the Prime Minister was not answering questions on Rafale and on jobs. Here are some excerpts first from the Prime Minister's speech that today raised plenty of heat. Take a look.
आपके चरित्र में है, जब भारत का विभाजन किया आपने, देश के टुकड़े किए, और जो जहर बोया, आज आजादी के 70 साल के बाद एक दिन ऐसा नहीं जाता है कि आपके उस पाप की सजा 125 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानी न खड़गे जी ने बशीर बद्र जी की शायरी सुनाई। तो उस शायरी में उन्होंने कहा कि दुश्मनी जमकर करो, लेकिन ये गुंजाइश रहे जब कभी हम दोस्त हो जाएं तो शर्मिंदा ना हो। उसी शायरी में बशीर बद्र जी ने आगे कहा है, जी चाहता है सच बोले, जी बहुत चाहता है सच बोले, क्या करे हौसला नहीं होता। मैं नहीं जानता हूं कर्नाटक के चुनाव के बाद खड़गे जी उस जगह पे होंगे कि नहीं होंगे, और इसलिए एक प्रकार से ये फेयरवेल स्पीच भी उनकी हो सकती है। भारत आजाद हुआ, उसके बाद भी जो देश आजाद हुए वो हमसे भी तेज गति से काफी आगे बढ़ चुके। आपने मां भारती के टुकड़े कर दिए, आपने पूरा समय एक परिवार के गीत गाने में खपा दिया। आपने कुछ जिम्मेवारी के साथ काम किया होता तो ये देश की जनता में सामर्थ्य था, देश को कहां से कहां पहुंचा देते। जब ये कहा गया कि देश को नेहरू ने लोकतंत्र दिया, देश को कांग्रेस ने लोकतंत्र दिया, जब लिच्छवी साम्राज्य था, जब बुद्ध परंपराएं थी, तब भी हमारे देश में लोकतंत्र की गूंज थी। ये कांग्रेस और नेहरू जी ने लोकतंत्र नहीं दी। कम से कम जगत गुरु बसवेश्वर जी का तो अपमान मत करो। आपको पता होना चाहिए, आप कर्नाटक से आते हो, कि जगत गुरु बसवेश्वर थे जिन्होंने उस जमाने में अनुभव मंडपम नाम की व्यवस्था की है 12वीं शताब्दी में, और गांव के सारे निर्णय लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से होता था। आप ही की पार्टी के नेता, उन्होंने अभी जब आपके पार्टी के भीतर चुनाव चल रहा था तो उन्होंने मीडिया को क्या कहा था? उन्होंने कहा था जहांगीर की जगह पे शाहजहां आए, शाहजहां की जगह पे औरंगजेब आए। क्या वहां चुनाव हुआ था क्या? तो हमारे यहां भी आ गए। आप लोकतंत्र की बात करते हो, आप लोकतंत्र की बात करते हो, आप लोकतंत्र की चर्चा करते हो, और लोकतंत्र में विश्वास की बातें करने वाले लोग जिस नेहरू जी के नाम पर आप लोकतंत्र की सारी परंपरा समर्पित कर रहे हो, श्रीमान राजीव गांधी ने हैदराबाद एयरपोर्ट पे उतर करके एक दलित मुख्यमंत्री, उनको खुलेआम अपमानित किया था एक चुने हुए जनप्रतिनिधि मुख्यमंत्री। कांग्रेस में नेतृत्व करने के लिए चुनाव हुआ। 15 कांग्रेस कमेटियां, उसमें से 12 कांग्रेस कमेटियों ने सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल को चुना था। 3 लोगों ने नोटा किया था, किसी को भी वोट नहीं देने का निर्णय किया था। उसके बावजूद भी नेतृत्व सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल को नहीं दिया गया। वो कौन सा लोकतंत्र था? पंडित नेहरू को बिठा दिया गया। अगर देश के पहले प्रधानमंत्री सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल होते तो मेरा कश्मीर का ये हिस्सा आज पाकिस्तान के पास न होता।
हमें गांधी वाला भारत चाहिए। मुझे भी गांधी वाला भारत चाहिए, क्योंकि गांधी ने कहा था कि आजादी मिल चुकी है, अब कांग्रेस की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। कांग्रेस को बिखेर देना चाहिए। ये कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत मोदी का विचार नहीं, गांधी का है ये। हम तो उस पद चिन्हों पर चलने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
So there you have Narendra Modi, jibe after jibe on the Gandhi family in particular and the Congress party in general. Now, has the Prime Minister set the stage for an election is the big question. Now, Rahul Gandhi spoke to the media after the Prime Minister spoke outside Parliament. He described Mr. Modi's speech effectively as an election speech and continued to question the Prime Minister's silence on jobs and the Rafale fighter jet deal. Listen in.
हर बार भाषण होता है कांग्रेस पार्टी के बारे में, कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेताओं के बारे में, नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बारे में। देश के सामने 3-4 मुद्दे हैं। किसानों को कैसा भविष्य मिलेगा, युवाओं को रोजगार कैसे मिलेगा, राफेल डील में चोरी हुई है हां या ना, और क्लियरली बता देना चाहिए। हमारे 3 सवाल हैं। आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बदला पेरिस में जाके, आपने कैबिनेट कमेटी ऑन सिक्योरिटी से पूछा था हां या ना, और आपने क्या दाम हवाई जहाज के लिए दिया। पहली बार रक्षा मंत्री जी कहती हैं कि भैया हम देश को नहीं बताएंगे। सबसे बड़ी डील हुई है, वायुसेना की रीढ़ की हड्डी है, उस पे डील हुई है। रक्षा मंत्री जी कहते हैं नहीं हम नहीं बताएंगे, हमारा तो सीक्रेट है। पेरिस फ्रांस में हमने सौदा किया है, डील की है, वो तो सीक्रेट डील है, हम देश को नहीं बताएंगे। 1 घंटा प्रधानमंत्री ने भाषण दिया, 1 घंटा, ठीक है। शहीदों एयरफोर्स का मामला है, एक शब्द नहीं बोला। हम सिर्फ सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, जवाब दीजिए। बस ये बता दीजिए कि आपने ये डील स्वयं बदली हां या ना, पैसा कम दिया या ज्यादा दिया, और जो परमिशन आपने लेनी थी आपने ली हां या ना। सवाल बहुत आसान है, मगर जवाब नहीं मिल रहा है। और देश को यह समझना है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भ्रष्टाचार की बात की थी, भ्रष्टाचार पे आक्रमण करने की बात की थी, और राफेल डील में भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है, और प्रधानमंत्री उन लोगों की रक्षा कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार किया है।
Words then from both sides. Meanwhile, the Defense Ministry today evening issued a statement in defense of the Rafale deal, saying that it was the UPA government that rejected the alternative Eurofighter Typhoon offer to supply planes at a cheaper rate. They claimed that the UPA too had kept details of many arms deals secret. The Modi government also says the approximate acquisition cost of the Rafale aircraft has already been given, but it claims item-wise cost will reveal customization and weapon information. It says Any details given will violate the India-France Security Pact. Okay, let's then raise all the big questions tonight. Is the Prime Minister, as we saw in that speech, permanently in campaign mode? Was that speech another signal that the Prime Minister is once again in election mode? Should the Prime Minister have brought up Nehru and Patel's names in the manner that he did in a 2018 speech? Why is Mr. Modi so silent on the controversy over the Rafale pricing? Did the Prime Minister fail to address issues like jobs and farm crisis? Did the Congress lower the dignity of the House with its sloganeering while the Prime Minister was speaking? Sanjay Jaiswal, Lok Sabha MP, BJP, Priyanka Chaturvedi, spokesperson, Congress, joining me. Also with me, Rahul Srivastav, our National Affairs Editor. But earlier, I spoke to one of those who's leading the charge against the government inside Parliament, Derek O'Brien of the Trinamool Congress. Mr. O'Brien, the Prime Minister's speech in the Lok Sabha on the motion of thanks to the President's address and then in the Rajya Sabha seemed to suggest that the entire opposition was ganging up against the BJP. You were taking the lead also in targeting the Prime Minister. Is it fair to say now this is the entire opposition versus Mr. Modi and the BJP in Parliament today?
Actually, Rajdeep, I'll take it one step beyond that. I think it's the people of this country versus Mr. Narendra Modi. Time's up, because today we raised some very serious issues on agriculture, women's issues, agriculture schemes, how to double MSP, how to double the farmer income, already done by Trinamool. But really serious issues on the health insurance, and it's run so well. We raised issues on the women's issue and how to do it better. But the speech of the Prime Minister, did you hear what he said? I mean, this is like lollipop stuff, puffy, no facts, no answering serious issues. You can always, like the great advertising guru David Ogilvy said, you can always sell a product once, but the problem is the repurchase.
But many will say, Mr. O'Brien, that the opposition is only in Parliament targeting the Prime Minister personally. Today you all were sloganeering even while the Prime Minister was speaking. And you yourself are not offering any alternative and seem to suggest that nothing good has happened in this country in the last 3 years.
Excellent. Excellent question. Let me answer it without any rhetoric. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, 300 crores is the annual budget every year. The entire country for the budget is about 1,000 crores. One state, Bengal, has a 5,000 crore budget. My direct question is, how have we spent this 5,000 crores for one state? How many lives have you touched? 45 lakh girls, their lives have been touched. The marriageable age has been delayed. The infant mortality rate has come down. What has Beti Bachao? Give us the numbers. 1. 2. You've talked about doubling farmer income. We also spoke about it in our manifesto in 2011. How? Today we explained how we managed to double the farmer income from 94,000 rupees per farmer per year after expenses to 2,20,000 rupees. We've already done that. We're not waiting for 2022. There are so many other examples. On the health insurance, you're talking about the health insurance, come to Bengal. Mamata Banerjee's government will show you how. Because the numbers which they've put out, 2,000 plus 2,000, 4,000 crores, that will work out to about 12% on insurance premium. Come to Bengal. There's an insurance scheme running there of 1,200 rupees per family. You talk about federalism. What have you done for federalism? Amit Shah is giving us lectures in his opening speech, maiden speech, which I called a Maidan speech. He's talking about federalism and he says modernization of police force. Hasn't his research team checked what is the modernization of the police force budget? From 4,000, 3,000 crores is down to zero. What is the BRGF budget to the states? You talk about the federalism. Where are you in federalism? Wait till we speak tomorrow on the rail budget. The rail budget is also nothing to do with federalism. Only the BJP, the governments run by the BJP have got plus 100% more. I'm giving you hard numbers. No rhetoric.
You're giving me no rhetoric. You're saying the Prime Minister gave you rhetoric today. You seem to be pitching this as the Bengal model in a sense versus the Gujarat model of development. You seem to believe that Mamata Banerjee is the magnet for the entire opposition against Modi. Where does that leave Rahul Gandhi? I want to understand. Inside Parliament, you all are all united but outside Parliament, do you accept Rahul Gandhi as your leader, or is Mamata going to be the one who's going to challenge Mr. Modi?
Firstly, in the state of West Bengal, we are taking on the CPM, the Congress and the BJP. And in Bengal, many parts they also got together. Nowhere in this constitution of ours does it say that you have to declare a prime ministerial candidate. So I think all these parties have to bat very well, and they have to add to the total number of runs. And then we can talk about prime minister candidates later. But I did refer today in my speech to something which you are free to interpret. I spoke about Mahisasur. And Mahisasur who personifies evil. And Mahisasur who changes form. And Mahisasur who thought that no man could ever kill him. And in my speech, I did conclude by saying finally all the forces of good got together around this one woman who finally slayed Mahisasur. You make whatever you want out of that.
No, 1 minute. Whatever you want. Are you telling me today on the program that Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the country, is Mahisasur and Mamata Banerjee is Durga, and that you are going to make the next election between Mamata and Modi? I come back to it. United inside Parliament, but outside Parliament, it is Mamata versus Modi.
Please understand. You need to understand this. I told you a story. It is your journalistic license to interpret the story. By the way, Rajdeep, at least you are allowed to telecast your program. Your channel has given you that freedom of expression. The Prime Minister's speech got telecast. My speech was blocked out by Rajya Sabha TV. The first 5 minutes of my speech was not shown. Now I hear Rajya Sabha TV have sent out a regret, saying they regret that Derek O'Brien's Trinamool Congress speech was not shown. Are we in some kind of super emergency?
Minute, are you telling me that Rajya Sabha TV, controlled by the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, deliberately blacked out your speech? Are you saying that this is the level to which the acrimony has now descended between the Treasury and opposition benches in Parliament?
I said my speech was blacked out. And let me tell you what I mean by blackout. For the first 30 seconds, there was a frozen frame of something else, and then they actually ran some other pre-recorded program. So we are asking for an inquiry. What is going on? And by the way, tomorrow this voice of the opposition cannot be, stopped like this. We'll get another chance to speak tomorrow. We'll get another chance to speak day after tomorrow. But it's really odd. I find it extremely odd that just before my name is announced, from that moment to the next 6 minutes, and the leader of the opposition today, I want to thank Ghulam Nabi Azad ji, who got up and said this is not the first time it's happened. He was giving us another example of day before yesterday. So we want an inquiry into this. Why is it happening? Why is it happening? A technical fault or whatever else they've called it. This is serious.
This is serious, but watching Parliament, what seems to me as an observer is that you are all in election mode now. That we are probably heading towards an early election, maybe as the Prime Minister wants a simultaneous election. Is the Trinamool Congress preparing for an early election?
It's a story about the good students in school. The good students in the class are always prepared for the exams. So the teacher one day can come and have a surprise test. But the students who prepare through the year, not like the cuckoo who comes once in the year, the students who prepare through the year can handle the exams very, very well. That's Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress for you. The development is carrying on in Bengal. Good work is happening in Bengal. She had a wonderful trip to Darjeeling in the last 2 days. So you call the exam anytime, we're ready. We are absolutely ready. It's the government's prerogative. And let me add, this simultaneous elections is all lollipop stuff to deflect from the real narrative. The simultaneous elections is all a constitutional jumla. It can never happen. It will never happen. They do not want to answer questions on jobs, on agriculture, on their schemes. Today in Parliament, we actually gave them 4 schemes which are working over a 6-year period, and we compared it to the government schemes. And all we said, today he didn't have the answer. Maybe tomorrow the finance minister will come out and bat for him, or because we'll repeat these things in the budget. They don't have answers. And I don't think the political parties need to be prepared. The people of India are prepared. Mr. Jaitley has presented his last budget. It's not something the Trinamool Congress is saying. Today, we've said this earlier, this is Mr. Modi's first and last term as Prime Minister.
This is Mr. Modi's first and last term as Prime Minister. Dramatic words they're coming from you, Derek O'Brien. You're virtually calling the Prime Minister Mahisasur and Mamata Durga. Remember, these are your words, Mr. O'Brien. We'll leave it to you, not ours. But thank you very much for joining us. Let me widen this. Sanjay Jaiswal, Lok Sabha MP, BJP, Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress and Rahul Srivastava have been waiting on. Let's analyze what has happened today, because the Prime Minister has clearly set the stage for what could be a very acrimonious year leading up to elections. Mr. Jaiswal, I just have received a press statement that has come from the Congress President Rahul Gandhi saying that the three crucial questions, jobs, agriculture and internal security, on all three questions the Prime Minister didn't answer them, instead chose to focus on the Nehru-Gandhi family and even 1947 Nehru and Patel. How do you respond? Should the Prime Minister have focused on jobs, agriculture, issues of 2018 instead of focusing on what was the situation in 1947?
The problem with Mr. Rahul Gandhi is that he doesn't listen to what's going on in the parliament. Today also he came at the end of Mr. Modi's speech. On budget, we were seeing that he was continuously chatting with Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia. So he never listens what's going on in parliament, then he gives a statement. Because if we would have listened it, we would have talked about MSP very clearly, that we have increased 1.5 times. Mr. Modi clearly said that he has given soil health card, which has helped the farmers in decreasing their expenditures. Mr. Modi has clearly said in the parliament that there have been 3 crores new Mudra Bank loan, which has helped them to come as an entrepreneur. He has talked about the internal security by saying surgical strike. But the problem with Mr. Rahul Gandhi is that I think he doesn't understand the subject, neither he is interested in understanding the subject. And that's the reason why he came so late when the Prime Minister's reply was nearly being finished.
Let me take what you're saying.
Mrs. Gandhi came just 5 minutes before the ending of the speech. So I would request Mr. Rahul Gandhi that from the next time,
I'm going to stop you at that point. You made your point. Let me take that to Priyanka Chaturvedi, because there is an argument being made today by the BJP Lok Sabha MP, which many others are echoing, that Rahul Gandhi doesn't give a speech inside Parliament. Narendra Modi spoke for more than an hour, detailed various issues, including the attack on the Congress. Rahul Gandhi comes outside Parliament and gives sound bites. Is that to be taken as evidence of a serious politician? Why couldn't Rahul Gandhi combat the Prime Minister on the floor of Parliament, raise Rafale, raise jobs, raise agriculture crisis, but do it inside Parliament? Rahul Gandhi wants sound bites. Is that the way he's going to fight Mr. Modi? Let Priyanka now respond.
No, firstly, Rajdeep, I'd just like to mention, since childhood, there was one lesson that was... Since childhood, I was taught one lesson.
Yes.
That people who are leaders...
Yes.
Mr. Jaiswal, please allow me to talk. I was listening to you extremely politely.
Yeah, please speak.
You know, since childhood, I was taught one lesson as far as leadership is concerned. That you command leadership, you don't demand leadership, and you don't demand respect, you command respect. Today what the Prime Minister has done is extremely unfortunate. He forgets that he holds a very important position constitutionally provided to him, electorally provided to him, and he's answerable to the electorate which has voted him into power. I think single largest party voted into power after years of coalition governments that the country has seen. What he chooses to do is attack the opposition for the 70 years of their past history, 60 years, etc., whatever you wish to talk. Personal attacks aside, I would just like to ask the Prime Minister a few questions.
I'm asking you a question. I am asking you, Priyanka Chaturvedi, why doesn't Rahul Gandhi speak inside Parliament? Why doesn't Rahul Gandhi speak inside Parliament?
I will answer. He will speak inside the... You know, when the Prime Minister takes 2.5 hours of his time and refuses to acknowledge questions that are being asked by the opposition, I can assure you of one thing, that Mr. Rahul Gandhi would be asking these questions inside the Parliament, outside the Parliament, and in every homes which have questions of the Prime Minister of this country who voted him into power. And the questions are from the farmers of this country, the questions are from the common man of this country, the questions are from the women of this country, questions are from the youth of this country. Youth asks for jobs. Women ask for safety and empowerment. The common man asks for perhaps a tax net which saves them some money to be able to invest, to be able to save for a better tomorrow? And that is the questions that we are asking. We are asking of the army. Here you speak about national security. You made that an issue in 2014. You spoke about all these things that you spoke in the parliament, even in 2013. So we ask you, to the dear Prime Minister, when you take credit for the surgical strikes, will you take responsibility for the 500% rise in the cross-border violations that we see under your tenure? We ask the Prime Minister, when you promised to the farmers of this country a 50% rise in minimum support price, have you done that? We ask the Prime Minister of this country, when you promised the youth of this country 1 crore jobs annually, have you been able to do that? When you promised the women of this country 33% reservation inside the parliament and safety outside the parliament, have you been able to do that? Then you please refuse, if you refuse to answer these questions and attack the Congress for something, we will do that, sir. Please be assured. We will do that inside the parliament, outside the parliament, and door-to-door campaign, street protest.
Okay, let me leave
everything that democratically allows us, constitutionally allows us to do that. We will do that as the opposition.
Okay, let me ask Rahul Srivastav. You heard the two sides. The sense I am getting is that we are A, already in election mode, and B, listening to the Prime Minister, it appeared that there was a bitter edge to what he was saying. He seemed very bitter about the Nehru Gandhi family in particular. Now, this is supposed to be a response to the President's address on the motion of thanks. Why bring in Nehru Patel, 1947 Kashmir? Is there a bitter edge to what is going on in Parliament today, particularly between Rahul Gandhi and the Prime Minister? Day after Rahul Gandhi seemed to suggest that the Prime Minister has taken money or has allowed corruption to take place in the Rafale deal.
Razi, what I'll say that this is a clear escalation, reiteration of hostilities in which both the parties have displaying that there is a complete parliamentary breakdown now. They have entered election mode where both sides don't want to debate. They want to say their side of the story.
Is there a personal edge? Do you sense a very bitter personal edge between Rahul and Modi in particular?
If I see the Prime Minister's speech, he countered a lot of arguments by the Congress, but among the 4 Ds which I witnessed, the top one was dynasty. The dynasty element he wanted to, because there were these stories doing the rounds about Rahul Gandhi speaking to journalists saying that Prime Minister Modi is not going to the Prime Minister anymore. There is now definitely a personal edge to all the campaigning and all the political barbs which are going. If you see the entire speech by the Prime Minister, it's not 1 hour, Rajdeep, it's 1 hour 45 minutes in the Lok Sabha and 1 hour 5 minutes odd in the Rajya Sabha, in which a large component was targeted at the first family of the Congress party.
You know, Mr. Jaiswal, this is a speech in response to the President's address, where the achievements of the government are listed out. Should the Prime Minister not have focused on that and answered these questions? Today, when it is suggested by the Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge that 30,000 youth are entering the job market, but the government is only providing employment to 450 of them, that 1 million, an army of 1 million new unemployed youth are being created on each month. Aren't these the questions the Prime Minister should be targeting? What is this dynasty question every time? Dynasty question can be answered certainly in a campaign speech. Why bring it into Parliament? This was supposed to be a response to the motion of thanks. Prime Minister is fully entitled to target the Gandhi family outside. Why inside Parliament?
No, because when the TDP and YSR member of Parliament sat down, these Congress MPs started shouting that why you have sat down, why you all sat on the... So that was the reason which instigated Prime Minister to speak about how Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee divided 3 states so peacefully, and what blunders did the Congress did in the division of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh.
No, Mr. Jaiswal, is this a personal
If Congress would have not shouted about Andhra Pradesh, they would have listened clearly.
Is there a personal bitter edge today between the Congress?
Have spoken only on the President's speech, but they were more interested in shouting about the division of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. They were not interested in listening to what Prime Minister is saying. Okay. That's why it all happened.
Okay, Priyanka Chaturvedi, the bottom line is...
The bottom line, 1 minute, Mr. Jaiswal, I have to switch off the mic if there's overtalk. You know, Priyanka Chaturvedi, is it clear that the Congress doesn't know?
The Congress, madam, just a minute. The Congress today didn't want to listen to the Prime Minister. You wanted to shout him down. You wanted to send out a signal that you don't treat him seriously. How do you expect then the Prime Minister to respond? Should your party not have listened to the Prime Minister at least inside Parliament?
I think perhaps Rajdeep, you missed out when Mr. Kharge was speaking and how the people in power were shouting him down. Perhaps you missed that scene where when Dr. Manmohan Singh used to get up to speak, they used to shout him down by calling him a chore. This is the legacy of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now let me tell you why it gets personal. When they have nothing to offer to the people of this country, when they have nothing to show for the promises that they made to the people of this country, it becomes a personal attack. They attack a family personally, a family which has personally given 3 prime ministers to this country, prime ministers elected by the people of this country. 2 of them laid down their lives for this country, and that is a history that they cannot claim a credit for. It is a Bharatiya Janata Party and RSS which
no, but is he not allowed to attack the Nehru Gandhi family? Priyanka Chaturvedi, are we saying that the Nehru Gandhi family cannot be attacked? The flip side, madam, 1 minute. Madam, 1 minute. The flip side would be that the Congress doesn't like anyone attacking the Nehru Gandhi family. Why can't they be attacked? This is politics. You attack the Prime Minister. You remember Sonia Gandhi called Narendra Modi Maut ka Saudagar. This goes back a long way.
Sir, perhaps you've forgotten that since 2013, we have only seen personal attacks being launched by the Prime Minister, by the Bharatiya Janata Party President, Mr. Amit Shah, and many such leaders who have chosen to use personal attack as the way to move forward electorally and perhaps consolidate their vote bank. But people of this country are wiser. We saw a Gujarat campaign which was totally led on the basis of personal attack against a family, against a political party, and not on issues. And people of Gujarat have shown them when they had expectations and grand ambitions of securing 150 seats, they have been reduced to 99 seats. This is an answer which people of the country will give to them. If they continue talking on non-issues which do not impact the people of this country, they are going to face a result that they faced perhaps in 2004. So we are extremely confident if the Prime Minister continues to speak in the language that he speaks, he will be the star campaigner for the Congress party. And all we have to do is sit back and watch the show.
What else you need to prove? What we should prove now? Even if we are talking about Gujarat, we have increased our vote percent from 47 to 49.
Okay, I want to bring in Rahul Srivastava in conclusion.
Sir,
we can continue with this political
policies. Perhaps you need to talk about
development.
No political tutu meme. I will switch off the mics if there is tutu meme. Final word. Are we in election mode? Are you sensing the signs possibly of an election even in 2018?
Rajdeep, one thing which is being ruled out by the government is election early. But the fact is that they are now so bitterly into election mode. There is no room for debate. There is no room for legislation. A protest by the opposition against the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, a Prime Minister hooted down continuously during his speech.
Derek O'Brien claimed today that he was blacked out during Parliament.
That is
it possible?
That is the chair. That is chair's decision.
No, has it reached the stage where the opposition leader's speech was blacked out in Parliament?
One way to get into it. What happened?
Is it possible? Could it have happened?
He is claiming it. He is claiming it. Nobody was watching that time. But the fact is that almost everybody is attacking each other, Rajdeep. The Prime Minister's speech for 2 hours, 50 minutes was at times bordering on virtual electoral vitriol. Now, that kind of speeches, that kind of hooting by the opposition, there were members of Parliament of the Congress party who shouted for 1 hour 30 minutes. Rajdeep, means that Parliament as an entity,
system has
broken down.
Okay, the Parliament system has broken down is what is being suggested here today in the studio. Certainly relations between Mr. Modi and Rahul Gandhi, the Congress and BJP, and you saw Derek O'Brien there, complete breakdown. Thank you very much for joining me. My take. Parliament today has offered a glimpse of what lies ahead in the run-up to elections 2019. Prime Minister Modi in a pugnacious mood, throwing punches at his opposition even as Rahul Gandhi asked direct questions. In a sense, this is a reversal of 2014. Then it was Mr. Modi who was the aggressor, asking the tough questions of the opposition even as the Congress in government was pushed on the defensive. Now it is Mr. Modi's track record in office, good or bad, that will come under scrutiny. Which is why the Prime Minister should perhaps have spent more time in detailing his government's track record rather than sounding like a bitter, resentful leader going back in time and dragging Nehru and Patel into a debate on the President's speech. Election speeches may be about rhetoric, but in Parliament, the Prime Minister is expected to raise the level of the political discourse. Also, Rahul Gandhi, instead of sound bites outside Parliament, should be taking the lead in making speeches inside Parliament, and the opposition should not be shouting down the Prime Minister. Expect more noise in the months ahead, which is a little unfortunate again. Truth is, this country needs more light than heat.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.